The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
Yes, Mark Rosen is going to be here.
Yes.
Coda's excited about
Pretty
Mark.
much the most excited person in the room, thing in the room. I'm excited to talk to Mark Rosen. I have looked up to Mark Rosen my whole life. I mean, I remember watching him, and now that I'm learning that he started at CCO when he was like 17. We're going to hear the whole story.
Isn't that crazy?
And we're excited about it. And thanks for joining us for our 4th podcast.
Yep.
Weathering
After the
Life
4th.
With Bell and Lee, because of Continental Diamond. That is our sponsor.
Thank you, Continental Diamond. I do also want to mention, here we are in July. I know your birthday's coming up.
I love July.
Also, the Minneapolis Aquatennial back, and they say like it was back in the day. And you know what's returning? Start collecting them now. Milk carton boat races are back.
Well, that's fun.
They're going to do the beach bash at Bidet-Makaska, July 18th through the 26th.
Okay.
They're going to have the big parades.
Do they do that river rat thing where they do
Twin City River Rats. And then do you remember when I did that on Care 11?
No.
You don't. I was on top of the pyramid.
You did that?
Yes.
That was your perk at play moment.
I fell into the Mississippi in downtown Minneapolis. So I'm up on the pyramid with the river rats. Oh, there's a video, Alex, on
we'll probably
YouTube.
have to put that up.
I'm up on the pyramid and they take off. And there was
you're already in a pyramid when you take off?
I did this on your show.
Well, I'm sorry. I did the show for 33 years. I don't remember everything you did.
I'm up on top.
Wow, that's a pretty remarkable.
But not up the tall pyramid. There was like, I think 3 and 2. I think I was
still
the 5th or 6th.
They're on water skis.
So then they tell me that there's this thing, because you got to come down. There's this thing I pull, and that we all come down, and it's a
parachute.
It's a gradual fall into the water, which I wasn't thrilled about on a Saturday morning, falling into the Mississippi downtown Minneapolis. But I couldn't find the cord. So as we're approaching the dock, and you can see it in the video, I'm yelling at these guys going, I can't find the cord. And they're talking to me, and I'm way up there. They go, it's on your left. And I go, where? And then all of a sudden we just come tumbling down, and it was a
Before
big wreck.
The dock, obviously.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't hit the dock.
So then
goodness.
everyone just goes, everyone just starts.
Blah, 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 blah.
Didn't get hurt.
Oh, no. I never got hurt on Care 11 Saturday.
Except for when Craig Norkus.
I didn't get hurt.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
We are excited. Coming up right after the break, we're going to save our time because we want to talk to Mark, and he has a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we hope so anyway.
Yeah.
So coming up next, Mark Rosen. I love Continental Diamond. And the reason I love it is because there are so many things that they know there that are so difficult to understand when it comes to how much we should spend, how to get things fixed, how to, of course, get a beautiful item in any price point. We're talking about a family-owned company since 1981. It was voted best jeweler by Minnesota Bride magazine for 16 consecutive years. So if you have jewelry needs, or you want to figure out how much something is worth, or you need something fixed, all of those things, go to Continental Diamond.
Whether you're hosting family gatherings, enjoying a quiet morning coffee, or relaxing around a fire table on a summer evening, By the Yard has outdoor furniture built for moments that really matter, crafted from durable, maintenance-free materials and backed by quality craftsmanship. By the Yard furniture is designed to look beautiful for years to come. I love my By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. Visit a showroom in Maple Grove, Woodbury, or Jordan, or shop online today. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors. Mark Rosen, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
And you bring up Common Man. He and I went to Brown Institute. We were in the same class at Brown Institute together.
He said that.
Back in the day.
Yeah. He mentioned
And then
it.
look at us.
Brown University.
Look at both of you.
It was Brown College back then.
Brown
on Lake
College.
Street.
Yeah. I remember going there thinking, when I was a neighbor of Phil Jones, who's the one who got me into WCCO, I was 17 years old, and I said to him, do you think I should go to Brown University, or Brown?
Back then it was Brown College.
Brown College, or because I took a tour of the place, or should I just go to school at the U of M? He said, I'd go to school. And then, next thing I know, he got me in with Hal Scott, who was the sports director at the time. He goes, I got this kid, I babysat for his kids. And he said to me, I got this kid who's bugging the hell out of me. Can you just show up and hang out? And I said, yeah, of course. So I did on a Saturday, put on my sport coat it was a men's store called Fitwell downtown Minneapolis. And it was, I had my one little sport coat and went down there. And of course, Hal forgot to tell RJ Fritz, who was the one that I was even coming.
From Stillwater.
Stillwater
Country Club. Yeah.
And so I went down there and I just hung out in the afternoon and Dave Moore walked by and I felt like, I asked him for his autograph, and he was doing the bedtime news. That's what he was there on Saturdays for. And I got hooked that, man, this is the coolest day of my life. And I remember one of the pro wrestlers came in because Hal Scott had an arrangement with Vern Gagne's group that these guys would come in and promote the big wrestling match
at WTCN.
At WTCN. And Hal probably got paid under the table a couple $100, and so the Crusher would come in.
Oh my goodness!
And I was in charge of the photographer would line up back in the back little studio, and he'd have to do his 30-second bit, and the Crusher would be talking to, and I was a kid, and he just like a normal voice, like, how long do you need here? And da da da. Then like 30 seconds. Okay, I got it. And then bam, the camera would come on and goes, all right, Vern Gagne, you turkey neck, I'm going to kill you tonight. And then he'd be done. He goes, was that okay?
So here we are, all three Minnesota Broadcast Hall of Famers now, because Bell just got in.
Congratulations.
How about that?
You.
But you see that wall at the Pavic Museum.
Yeah.
And you see Dave Moore and Bud Kraling and Hal Scott.
Majors and Diana Pierce.
Yeah.
And Randy Shaver and
it's crazy.
Mark Rosen. Ralph John
and now
Fritz.
Frank and Amelia. Fred and Amelia.
Fred
and Amelia.
Of course, they're going in together.
That's
awesome.
Should be. With her.
Yeah.
Well, they should. They should.
Well, I don't know. Is it in I was there.
Stillwater.
Friday before Thanksgiving, the 20th of November, we'll be there.
I was, I emceed the one with Louie Nanny.
Last year.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I'm hopeful of at least attending, so that would be great.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that there'll be a CCO table. There'll be a care table.
I would hope so.
I'm going to take you back because do you remember when Mark and I ran for governor and lieutenant governor of the state of Minnesota?
I don't know if she was here then.
You know what? I probably wasn't. I apologize that I don't.
You have no idea?
I need the download on what the hell was happening then.
She has no idea that happened to us.
No.
Why did you do that?
We should have won. Well, I was at KQRS. I started the morning show actually before Bernard got there. I got called. My son was born in December of '85. He just turned 40 a little while ago. He was just in town a week ago. We just had a blast. And I knew my life was about to change. And I got a call. I was doing some little weekend things, and I was doing weekends at WCCO TV was it W Light? I think
yeah.
So I would call in like in the afternoon and give little sports updates. The Twins are winning, losing, whatever they're doing, and just do 2-minute little things. And then I got a call from Mark Steinmetz, was the general manager of KQRS. And he asked me about, hey, listen, and Bernard wasn't there. Do you mind? We'd like to do some sports updates on KQRS in the morning. And I went, well, I can't come in right now, but we'll put a basically, I'll tell you inside broadcasting ISDN line to have a microphone like this, a little setup. I'll put it in your kitchen so you don't have to come in.
Weather for us.
Yeah, I
right.
had that too.
So I thought about, well, my life's going to change. Sure. So I said, I'll do it. I had to get permission from my bosses, and they didn't care. They had to ask the CCO chain, and they were like, go ahead and do it. So I started, 3-4 days a week, just calling in.
And I was the first Terry Train.
The jock.
So I was on with Tom and Dan.
Yeah. But then what happened was I went on I started in January of '86. And then I got a call on a Sunday night from Steinmetz again saying, do you know a guy named Tom Bernard? I said, I've heard the name. He was on the radio he was the Catman.
Catman.
So I said, I know, I'd never met him. He goes, well, he's starting tomorrow morning. I went, okay. And he started out and we started kind of like making fun of each other right away. And I never met him, went for a while, and man, everything exploded.
It was the
we
best.
went from
It
a
was
5 to a
huge.
15 share.
And
And
now he's retiring.
I know. Well, I know he is.
Yeah.
And
But that was quite, everyone
that
listened.
was,
But
it was-
I
everyone
got to
listened.
tell you, the biggest promotion, and I've done a lot of promotions in radio,
oh, boy, here we go.
KDWB,
You're
Cities
my
9.
running mate.
The biggest promotion I've ever done in radio is when they had the idea of let's get little Marky Rosen
Right.
to run for the governor of Minnesota.
Okay. Oh, so this was a joke.
Well, it was.
Did you
it
not
was
want
a
to be
way.
the governor?
No. Well, no. Well,
It
I wasn't
wasn't a
officially.
joke.
It wasn't. I wasn't on the ballot, so it was never.
Well, that was the
because
bit.
I would have had to be off the radio then, like Jesse was when Jesse ran for
Right.
governor. He had to leave
Leave
KFAN.
the radio.
But since I wasn't on the ballot, I could continue doing what I was doing. Lee was my running mate, and it was we raised money for the United Way, so that was a way of doing it.
A lot of money. And
Yeah.
you had to write in our names.
Yeah.
Not only Mark Rosen, which is easy, but you had to write Lee Valsman.
Right.
As
How many
lieutenant-
votes did you get?
We set a record in the state of Minnesota
write-in
because I
votes.
had people calling me and wanted to do an interview because we just set a record for the most write-in votes for a gubernatorial election in the state of Minnesota. That soon was broken by Arnie Carlson and the pool party and the,
I don't want to hear that.
I know, but we don't hold the record anymore. But at the time we did.
We had like 9,000 votes.
It was
Oh,
huge.
really?
I mean, I'm seriously. I
Who
made
won?
that
year?
was the year that Rudy Perpich.
Oh, wow.
It was
Yes.
Rudy Perpich.
I'm sure Perpich's campaign's like, what the heck is going on?
He did not have a good sense of humor.
No,
about
he
it.
did
I would
not.
say he
No,
wouldn't.
Cal Ludeman was the independent Republican, and we had a rally at Met
Center before a North Star game.
Yeah, it was packed.
It was huge.
I mean, but
This
the
is
weird
hilarious.
thing, the weird thing was I had
I wasn't college then, I didn't know.
responsible looking people coming up to me on the street going, "No, I'm really going to vote for you." I went, "Are you nuts?"
I had a button. I was
We
going to
had-
bring the button today, but it's in
I
my
still
stuff.
have them.
I do too. I
You
couldn't
had a
find
button?
it. It says Mark Rosen for governor.
And the college campuses went crazy with it. St.
Yeah.
John's, everybody. I mean, they had lawn signs everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And they're true story.
We thought it might happen.
Well, true story. I was when Jesse decided to run for governor.
Yeah.
I'm at the state fair, of course. That's when all the campaigns were going on. He's wearing his Zubas. I said, Jesse, what the hell are you doing? He goes, well, I saw what you were doing when you ran for governor, and I thought I could do that and I can win. I went, well, okay, good luck with that. Otherwise, he was going to go back and do his show and his midday
KFAN.
show on KFAN. That's where PA got the job. They
This
talk
was
about
86?
Did he really?
I think it was the 86 election.
Ours was 86.
Ours was 86.
Obviously,
I graduated
Jesse's
from
was
high school that
98,
year, so.
99, whatever. But Jesse said, yeah, I watched what happened with you guys. And of course, he did get on the ballot. So he did have to drop off
Yeah.
his radio show at KFAN and then run for governor.
And
And
he
lo
won.
and behold,
Yeah, the rest is
it's
history.
like that last line from there was a movie, The Candidate, with Robert Redford. And there's a last line where they show him going behind closed doors after he found out he won. And he looked at his campaign manager and he goes, now what do we do?
Now, what do we do?
And I went, whoa, is that the truth? But
Well, I just paid my tabs, and I wish he was still governor.
he did
because
a hell of a job of lowering
Did
our
he?
tabs.
He got our
Jesse did.
I just paid my tabs. And I
Well,
wanted to kill
I'm
someone.
convinced, and Jesse, I thought did a lot of good. First of all, he surrounded himself with really good people his first term. And then I knew this was going to happen. He was going to get bored as hell, putting a coat and tie on, going to these stuffy meetings he had to go to as governor and ribbon cuttings and all that. So he'd make up a thing to get out of it. And so he
The
called
actual job.
the actual job, the media jackals. You guys are, you're invading my privacy, my kids and all. He wanted out.
Did he
didn't want-
live in the mansion?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I went to,
He did.
he invited me for lunch one day.
Yeah.
Did you go?
I went to lunch. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, the governor invites you to lunch. You
You
go.
go.
Was it
Yeah.
good? Was
So,
it nice?
Yeah, it was really nice.
but Lee, that
Oh.
was
Back
a
in the
blast.
day.
I mean, I learned
my
a lot.
gosh, Mark.
It was a blast a long time ago, but my goodness, it showed what is possible and what did become possible. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at our current president, he went down the elevator. He was hosting a reality show. So,
That's
I mean,
true.
shit
I know.
happens.
Yeah, you never know.
Hey, this show's called Weathering Life
Yes.
with Belle and Lee.
I love it. I love
That's
that you
us.
guys are doing this.
And you are such a great guy. You have a lot of sunny moments in your life, but man, there's been some your transitions.
Well, I think everyone, you go to a certain age, stuff happens, man. It just does. And sometimes absolutely out of the blue. And that's what happened to me, for sure. And my family and everything that we went through back in 2018. when my longtime wife, Denise, was suddenly, shockingly diagnosed with glioblastoma. And it was a thunderstruck because she was just having, I remember she was going out to dinner with the kids. My son was in town and they were going out to dinner. And my daughter called me and said, Dad, kind of away from Denise, saying, Mom was having trouble adding up like the total bill and then the tip. And she was just couldn't figure it out. And, it was just a minor little sign. And she was saying, I'm having some just little short-term memory things going on. I went, oh. I said, well, you're going in for your physical, we'll find out. So her doctor said, I got to give you an MRI. I don't know if anything else is wrong. So I remember going to the imaging place over in Edina. And I remember I had a chiropractor appointment. And I'm looking at my watch going, God, this is taking longer than usual. Getting a little antsy. And all of a sudden, Denise was still, and she was very claustrophobic about getting in the MRI machines. I hate those too. I'd taken, here, I gave you a couple of Xanax. Just take these. They'll knock you out.
Yeah.
Make you feel loopy. All of a sudden, my phone rings. I look down and I can see it's Dr. Chasm from Edina Physicians. And so I stepped out of the room and she said to me, Mark, Denise has a brain tumor and you need to get down to Abbott Hospital right now. And I remember my knees just buckled. I went, what? And she says, tell Denise to put her phone on. I'm going to call her and tell her. So we got in the car and she goes, what was that all about? I said, well, just have your phone ready. Dr. Chasm's going to call you. And
so right from the MRI, you went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they thought they were going to have to do surgery right away. I had no idea. The only time I had heard of glioblastoma was because John McCain had been diagnosed with it. And I, was following his battle and understanding, but I obviously knew about it a little bit, but I didn't know what stage he had or anything. So I wasn't quite sure. So I just remember I could overhear the conversation and Denise just had this like placid, I think she was just out of it and didn't really even understand what was going on. So she says, do you think we could stop at McDonald's on the way? I said, no, we got to go to the hospital. And I had no idea what was going to happen, but we met with the surgeon and he showed me, the MRI and I'm going, my mind is going 100 miles an hour. And that's when he said stage 4. And I just went, you don't even have to say what it is. And so we have to wait for the swelling to go down and do the surgery and blah, blah, blah. It takes a couple of weeks. You have to take, steroids to reduce the swelling. So they had to do the surgery 2 weeks after that. And the biggest concern at that point was trying to get as much tumor out as you could and without losing her speech at that point, because it was right near, the tumor was on the left side, right near her speech area of her brain. So he was so concerned about that. And he got all of it as you could, like 98% of it. And then he came out and said, good news, her speech is intact. I talked to her. So thus began a long journey. And I knew.
And you're still on Channel 4 when this is all happening.
100%. Yeah. I had no idea, what was going to happen. And it started a long regimen of radiation treatments, chemo pills. And she was doing really well for, 2 years. I mean, we were able to travel, we were able to do everything. She just had to take naps, for quite a while. And then, the disease eventually, we have this brain barrier that doesn't allow meds to get in. It protects us from the bad stuff, but also protects us from the good stuff.
Oh.
So when you have something like glioblastoma, which has no cure, the meds really can't infiltrate and get to the tumor. It does a little bit, but not to the point where it can fix it. So, she kind of knew her fate, didn't really want to talk about it a lot, and I respected her wishes, but did our family stuff. We traveled pretty much wherever she wanted to go. And she did really well for a couple of years. And then things just started going downhill. And when it happens fast. She lost the ability to eat with her, everything was on the left side. So she couldn't eat with her right hand. She had to teach herself how to eat left-handed. Then you end up, getting home care and blah, blah, blah. And, then you can't take care of her and move into hospice and one thing leads to another. And then she passed in 2021, August. So, we would have just celebrated our 49th wedding anniversary. But as fate has it, after, going through the worst possible time, and I thank goodness, especially for my daughter who lived here, was having the support of her and some of Denise's really good friends who, were caregivers and brought food over and it truly taught me a lesson, about how to, give back when necessary. And it was, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was lost. I remember just staring in my apartment over on Willow Street, and over by Loring Park, and going, what the hell am I going to do? I'm just staring. And obviously I let my bosses know at that point. Before that, I'm done. I'm not going to be working here much longer. So we worked that out, and it was, it was something. And I felt like I wanted to share without infiltrating her personal space and her privacy with people, the kind of like the journey that we were going on and I was going on, to say, and I know a lot of people responded saying this can happen to anybody, anytime. Denise was as healthy as anyone they could possibly imagine. She had a long life ahead of her, and we had a lot of big plans, that we were going to do. And all of a sudden, one phone call, it gets totally derailed. It's it. Game, set, match. It's over. And you at least had time. I mean, the good thing, there's a good thing. There isn't a good thing. But I had time mentally to prepare. I mean, I think about people who get a diagnosis and they have like pancreatic cancer. They got 6 months to live. They got whatever it might be. We all know people, families. And that's what I learned in a hurry. There were so many people going through so much stuff, and cancer is just however you want to identify it. But I felt like I needed to share part of my story with people, and they responded accordingly. And I still feel that way about sharing.
You had a good. I'm glad you kept coming into KFAN, and I got to see you in the morning, and they loved you and supported you, and we got to talk a lot. As all this was happening.
Because of what all of us have been doing all these years, we have this microphone, we have a forum, and I think, I could use it in a positive way to at least hopefully say, look, this is what I've learned. I don't know jack squat about anything, but this is the book I've been reading. I have a great therapist. If you are going through whatever the crisis might be, don't go it alone.
Reach out. Yeah,
reach out. Seek professional help, whatever it might be. Lean on people, lean on your community, lean on your family, whatever it might be. Because I had too many lonely nights by myself, because when it's all said and done,
she's gone.
Denise goes to bed at night, whatever, and it's 10 o'clock and I'm sitting in that room. My friends aren't there. My family's not there. It's just me and my thoughts. And then, I think that's where things get really squirrely and dangerous in your own mind. And then you got to kind of work through that. So I learned a lot, and I continue to try to give back to men in particular.
Talk about that caregiving group that you're a part of. That's really, it's so interesting.
Well, I got a call, Jack's Caregivers. There's a gentleman who also lost his wife through cancer, and he had called me and was aware of my story and said, would you mind coming? We're having a big dinner and recognition dinner, and it's 98% men there. Obviously, some people have their spouses there, and talk to them about what you've learned. I went, no, I'd be happy to. And so went to the dinner, I was very, I got emotional, talked about my personal journey about seeking help and don't trying to do it. Men are not good necessarily. I mean, I hate the stereotype, but they're not really good at, in fact, remember Denise saying, I never thought you could take care of me. And I said, I didn't either. But
when push came to shove, you did, but you also had some help.
I'd had some help, Belinda. Yeah, I had help from not just family members, but really good friends. As I mentioned, a therapist for my own mental health, and then other people. As things got worse and worse and worse, I needed a lot of help. And that was my point to this men's group, saying, man, you can't go it alone, but also understand that don't be afraid to express your feelings. Don't leave anything on the table. Whatever you want to say to your wife or loved one, say it. You don't want to have any regrets when this is over with. So, I learned a lot, and then you realize, the old cliche, life goes on, and it did, and it does for me. A month later, after Denise passed, Chloe, my daughter, and I were eating dinner, and we used to have a cat years ago, and she said, Dad, the Humane Society's open right now. I went, it's 7, whatever. I said, no, let's go. Mm-hmm. So we drove over to Golden Valley and drove to the Humane Society and poked my head in. This is during COVID.
He's a cat guy, by the way.
I'm a cat guy.
It's okay.
And I I come in here. I love the dogs here. I love Millie. I loved all the dogs here. Millie won't.
Coda, it's okay. He likes it.
And I looked at, what a sweetheart.
Yeah, Coda's a good boy.
He's a good boy. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to take care. So I went there, and there was a litter of kittens. And I tell the story. They wrote a wonderful story about my relationship and my new wife, Karen, about how we fell in love and had to go through my kitty. So this little kitty poked her head out among the 5 or 6 kittens that were in there. And I looked at her, and you could tell she was looking. I said, that's the one.
Oh.
So they put a little tag on her. And I said, I'll be back tomorrow to pick her up. So I have this picture. It's still on my phone. And I'm wearing my mask because of COVID. And I'm holding this little fur ball in my arms. And I said, well, I'm going to name her after the street I was living on, Willow. And so took her home, and she's been my trusty companion ever since. But she knows me. I mean, I talk about dogs, and I know dogs are phenomenal. I wish I could have one. But anyway, Karen Nelson, who I had met once, who was the chief legal counsel for the Vikings, I didn't have her number. I didn't know anything about her, but she liked, the photos I took. That's all. And I didn't even pay attention to it probably for 2 months. And then all of a sudden I kept seeing she liked the pictures I would post, because this made me feel better to post pictures of Willow and being mischievous and everything. And all of a sudden I started looking her up. I went, Karen Nelson, man, I know I met her. I was in her office for something one time. And I looked her up, found out about her background, Iowa Law School. She worked for Cargill for 17 years, lived all over the world, blah, blah, blah. So I texted, thinking, I just got to get out. I texted Bob Hagan, who was a PR director, long PR time. And I said, Bob, if Karen's single? And all I wrote back was, I still have his message, is yes. That's all I wrote. I said, I got it from here. Oh. So I had to send her a direct message, because obviously I didn't have her phone number. I said, do you like to have, I had no idea if she lived in Lakeville or Minneapolis. As it turned out, she was a downtown person like me, because I had moved. I said, you want to have coffee? I said, yeah, I got next Friday, open it. We met at Bellicor downtown, right across the street from Spoon and Stable, which is a whole other story. So we met for coffee there. She had an hour. I had an hour, because I was meeting Wendy Williams Blackshaw, who both of you know, was speaking. I was going to an event with her, and Karen had to go. So we're just yakking away. We knew a lot of people, and Gavin Kasem was there. He stopped by. So we're talking with him, and it just was so natural. I just kind of blurted out. I said, do you want to have dinner next Friday when you get back? It was really kind of just that kind of innocent, like, let's continue this discussion. And she said, yeah, on one condition. I said, what's that? She goes, that we go across the street to Spoon and Stable. And I went, oh boy, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Get your checkbook out, but worth every penny.
And so we went there, and she called her brother, who I love dearly. And she's got a wonderful family. I'll tell you about her background. And she called her brother David. She goes, David, I just met Mark Rosen, and he's asked me out for dinner next week. She says, do you think that's a date? Oh. And David goes, yes, Karen, it's a date. So we went out and had a 3.5-hour dinner at Spoon. And we knew, it's like,
I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember you and I having a conversation after that in the hallway?
You got to help me out.
He did. And it was the sweetest thing.
Oh, okay.
Because you're like, you were nervous.
I was.
And
my God.
And
last time I had a date.
Yeah, how long were you married?
And things had just happened. And he goes,
really?
Lee.
40 some years. So
like I said, we would have just celebrated our 49th anniversary.
So you didn't have a date.
There were a bunch of guys around, but he came to me and he goes, Lee, do I do this? I go, yes. Yeah. He was so sweet. And it was a wonderful
She would
conversation.
want you to be happy.
Well, she lived downtown, and it's funny because honestly, I think if she had lived in Lakeville, I probably would have never gone out with her to pick her up. But
nothing against Lakeville.
Drive out to, no, nothing. No, of course not. Okay, name any city. It's outside of the Twin Cities.
If it's not, yeah.
Well, it's funny because we had a wonderful dinner, and we were laughing about this the other night. She lived on, I'm not going to say the address she lived on, but she lived, not too far off of Washington Avenue, not too far from where I was living. But I, did the gentleman thing. I dropped her off and made sure she was getting in, and I got out of the car with her, and I gave her a kiss goodnight. And I know that she goes, oh, I remember that. I said, well, that didn't bother you. She goes, oh, no, it didn't bother me at all. But I was like, and that was it. You kind of know what you know. And we hit it off so well. I mean, on so many levels, she's the greatest person in the world for me and for herself. And she's got an incredible family. She grew up on a farm in Westbrook, down in southwestern Minnesota. Her mom and dad, in fact, are coming up this weekend to celebrate their 66th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
And she's got one brother. She's got great friends.
And she works for the Vikings.
And she's a chief legal officer. So,
Isn't that
who
crazy?
doesn't tell me squat about what's going on.
I know.
over
I
there.
always wondered, do you guys
But
talk?
no. I mean, I know a little bit,
Right.
but nothing. No, she's got, the inside. But it couldn't have had a better match. I mean, she was great friends, both of us, and with Jim and Sue Marshall and Bud, of course. Bud, oh my God, the Bud Grant stories. And Bud was so happy for us. And his better half, Pat, who Bud also got together with after his wife had passed away. So Bud and I would have these conversations that we would never, ever have before when I was doing a show and I was so intimidated by him.
Cool.
But Pat, anytime Bud was around and he, Karen and I were getting a little more serious, every time Pat would see me and Karen wasn't looking, she'd point to her ring finger, go, get on it, buddy.
Oh,
Time is tick
how
tock, tick
about
tock.
that?
And so when I did propose to her, they were one of the first people that we wanted to let know that I got it done, Pat. Quit bugging me now. Anyway, honestly, guys, I mean, I don't even know what my life would have been like. It would have been not good. I would not have been as healthy as I feel right now.
And you guys just she's going to Italy soon.
Oh yeah.
You just went to Italy?
Went to Italy with some really good friends we've traveled with. And we're best of friends. I mean, you say that at my point in my life, and to have a soulmate who we love doing things with each other, and we laugh all the time, and we tease each other, and we cook together, and we travel together, and we have great friends. And I've been exposed to so many other people through her job and her friendships. And and for me for her family to be as welcoming and wonderful, is, because both my mom and dad passed quite a while ago. I always tell Karen, I wish you would have known my mom in particular. She was just a ball of fire, and she would have loved you. I mean, and I know you would have loved her. But to have, I have in-laws. I mean, I have a brother-in-law. I have a nephew who just had a baby, and this is a whole new world again. And to live
second chapter.
It is a second chapter, Bill, and it proves you can do it. And you never stop grieving. The grieving process doesn't end. I mean, and Karen is wonderful about it. I don't express it a lot, but I could be watching a movie. I could hear a song on the radio, whatever it might be, and it takes you back to 1990, whatever it might be, and where we were, or what we were doing. And it's okay. You're supposed to embrace those moments. You can't just eliminate them. Your brain doesn't work that way. But in the meantime, I'm so blessed to have Karen in my life, and it truly is a second chapter, and feeling like life does go on. And to sit around and be maudlin about it, and I know there are people. It's really tough for people to get out from under it, pushing yourself through. It doesn't mean you have to. A lot of people. I'm very fortunate. I don't know if I hadn't found Karen or Karen found me, or whatever it may be. I don't know. It's like, God, do I want to go back in the dating pool and get on what other sites? I don't know. Alex,
Tinder.
Tinder, Bumble.
I don't know. We don't know. I've been married for 32 years. I don't know.
Lee, you've been married
Yeah,
how
you've
long
been married
now?
a long
Oh yeah.
time,
Well,
yeah.
when it
it's a
became
good-
legal.
Yeah, when
Right?
it became legal.
Yeah.
But even before
for a long
that.
time.
No,
30
but we've been
years.
partners, forever.
Yeah.
I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Almost
That's so
30 years.
It's
fabulous.
phenomenal.
30 years.
Yeah, phenomenal. You got a great, I mean,
Yep.
but I mean, it's like, God, I mean, it's a widower with 3 kids.
And you're still doing the Vikings on Sunday mornings.
I love it.
That you love that.
So that you left the, let's just say, the 5, 6, and 10 grind,
Right.
and it was wonderful. How many years were at CCO?
48, 49. I was
Because
50.
they were
He's a
17.
kid.
You know,
He's a
I was,
kid.
I mean, I was hired. Honestly, I was
career.
hired when I was still in high school part-time.
What a career, and what a
Stunning.
phenomenal
Yeah.
place. And that is obviously, you created that whole place. So now that you're doing it beyond that, what is that like? You obviously still want to do it.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I'm not quite sure how long Karen's going to keep working. I mean, we want to spend as much time traveling,
Mhm.
doing the things, enjoying our time. She's put in a lot of years. I mean, this woman is remarkable, and I'll get back to answering your question. But when she left, and I don't know, she won't mind me saying this, because she's talked about it. She was in a young, early marriage, and it turned out he was not a very nice guy. And he went on some hunting trip, and she literally packed her bags and left just like that. Boom. No idea what she was going to do. She graduated from Minnesota State Mankato, and then never met an attorney in her life, and decided, I'm going to go to law school. She's really smart, obviously. And University of Iowa was the one who was going to help her out with a little scholarship money. So she went there, didn't have, as they say, a pot to piss in, and getting in. And she got in and she went through it, and she finished law school, and then she got her CPA and ended up going to Seattle to work as a CPA, and then got involved. And then Cargill hired her. I think I don't know if I'm missing any steps here, but went on a 18 year journey, living all over Singapore to Moscow to Geneva. I mean, Cargill, as we all know.
There.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
I mean,
kicked it
and
in.
you know what kind of big company Cargill is, obviously, and with tentacles everywhere in the world. So she did all of that, and then
Came home,
wanted to come home. You know, her nephew and niece were getting a little older. I mean, she was still taking him to Twins games when he was a little kid, but came back home, and then Kevin Warren, who was a big honcho with the Vikings, wooed her and actually went to Westbrook to the farm down there and met her mom and dad and the whole thing. He did it all right. Hired her as the chief legal counsel, and the rest is history.
wow.
And Kevin, special person for me my entire life, because he's the one. I told him, he was with the Vikings. I said one day, Kevin, I'm going to be hanging it up at CCO. I got all this stuff going on in my life. Denise is not, she doesn't have a lot of time left. You're still doing pretty well. And I was just kind of joking with him before a Viking game. He goes, well, I hope CCO does something for me. They're all only been there for 48 years. He goes, I'm doing a party for you. I went, and I thought he was, not joking. Kevin doesn't ever joke about things. He literally threw my going away party. It's probably, I don't know how much money he spent at the Vikings Museum.
It was amazing. It was a snowstorm and I couldn't come because of weather, but Randy went and came back and told me all about it.
I appreciated it so much, but more importantly,
how wonderful. It
Kevin
should be
Warren.
there.
And as it turns out, Karen was there. She went, her good friends are Trent Tucker and his partner, Melina. And they've been friends forever and ever and ever, especially Melina. And I had no idea Karen was there. Why would I? I mean, but she came to my party. Think about that. I mean, my God. Anyway, Kevin will always be. We just went recently to, we were in Chicago. They had a sports lawyers conference for about 3-4 days, and Karen was there by herself for a little bit. And then I met her on the weekend, and Kevin invited us to his house because his daughter was just graduating from Notre Dame Law School, and Karen had helped, with some of the, letters of reference, whatever she was helping her out with. So we went out to Lake Forest and kind of go full circle.
Oh, wonderful.
So what was your question? I can't remember. I don't
remember either, but it's all interesting to me.
About CCO.
You got to talk about our little knick-knack.
Well, exactly. I brought, so we're bringing we're bringing something to fill ourselves.
I'm aware of that.
Because we have a budget, we only can afford so much. So she collects nippers. This This is for Father's Day. My dad always had a Werther's in his pocket. So when we interviewed her,
give Mark a Werther to put in his pocket.
You're a dad.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
Father's
you.
Day.
Oh, I so appreciate this. I'm going to save it for later.
The heart is.
Yes.
So you were so sweet. I have for 21 years helped out Humor to Fight the Tumor.
Oh, I know you have.
Is a wonderful cause that was started by a woman who currently still is living with a brain tumor, Joelle Severson, and other people, Matt Thurber and others.
Matt Thurber, I
unbelievable people.
They are.
And so it's happening this fall, and you came to it you were there with your wife, I think, one time, or alone.
I was by myself.
She got sick.
She didn't. Yeah, I don't think she wanted.
And then you emceed it for me one year, which was so sweet. So this was the centerpiece that an artist had made for one of the galas.
Oh my goodness, that's meaningful. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Bill, because that was that first year I went by myself. It was really hard because they have all these pictures of people, and I knew a couple of them that had passed from glioblastoma, brain tumor, and you're looking at them, a lot of young faces. I mean, as it doesn't discriminate, male, female, ages. I mean, you can be in your 70s, you can be in your 30s, you could be in your teens, and it's honestly, ever since Denise was diagnosed and then passed from it, I've heard more and more stories about glioblastoma, where before it seemed like it was really rare.
Yeah.
But that event
Their research is really helping people.
It is.
It is. And so the research goes to the Mayo Clinic and the U of M.
Wonderful.
It's all for brain tumors.
And I'm glad you've been, it was one of my, well, it was obviously a big
Well, you made the
passion of it.
shelf.
Yeah. That's for you. That's for you and for Denise.
Thank you.
What's your forecast? What's Mark Rosen's forecast?
For me,
for you, for Mark.
Sunny for the next, I hope.
Well,
so many years.
You asked Belinda about, I do the Viking pregame show on Fox 9, and I love it. It's just I'm doing podcasts here, which I love doing with great people here, even Alex. But Alex is my guy, and the dogs that I come and visit. And I do Common 3 days a week, which is just enough, but it's fun because
That's Dan Cole, the Common Man.
Dan Cole, the Common
fan.
Man, KFAN, if you haven't heard
Noon
of who
to
he
3.
is. Yeah, and I'm on 2 to 3 days a week. And I love it. I mean, it's just, I know I get ribbed all the time. And it's part of the shtick. You can't just talk hardcore sports all the time. And then I do the Vikings pregame show. They were kindly to ask me. I started actually doing the Vikings Entertainment Network during COVID. It was weird because I do the show with Pete Bursich. There were no fans in the stands.
Oh,
it was awful. It was awful. It was the weirdest year ever. And we do this post game thing, and there's nobody there. And we finish the show and walk out the U.S. Bank Stadium, and there's no fans,
Crickets.
no traffic, no nothing. But thankfully we got past that, and I get, it's enough of a rush, both the preparation, which I love to do before a game. We do the show live on Sunday mornings, either at U.S. Bank when there's a home game, or Vikings Entertainment Network out of TC, their facility, or at Fox 9 on Sundays, hour and a half. And we have I put that pregame show up against anyone's because, we have the best of the best people, obviously. I mean, I don't go through the names from Don Mitchell and Pete Bursich and Ben Lieber and who am I missing? My God, I missed too many. I'm missing too many people.
You still love it.
I love it. It gets me. I'm the orchestra leader, and I just kind of go from one to another. But I like doing it. I put my little coat and tie on again for one day a week for how many weeks. I watch the game, and then what the great thing is? I get to go home. And
you don't have to do the post game. You don't have to do the 10 o'clock news.
I'm not worried. I'm not looking to see what time it is that my Rosen Sports Sunday goes on at 11:15.
Oh, it does.
And I get home at midnight, and it takes me another hour to get to sleep. So it's just enough. And I think it's something that people face, men in particular, like using that dirty word retirement. I'm going, I don't think I'm ever going to really retire. I mean, you find new projects. You found
this one retired and said to me, "What am I going to do?" And I said, "You need to do a podcast."
Yeah.
And here we are.
You think you were going to do this?
Somehow, I thought she would do it.
What were you going to do?
And she roped me into it.
I know. I've only been retired for like 9 minutes.
I know. But
you do have to retire to something because you can't retire to the couch. And you got to retire.
Would
to
you and Dave
something.
Ryan say go, slow go, no go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still in your go years.
Well,
Are you
one of my favorite quotes from Clint Eastwood, who's still alive. I think he's 96, just turned 96.
Crazy. Is he?
Don't let the old man in.
Ooh,
and I love it. No, I'm having knee replacement surgery Monday, and I'm saying, am I excited about it? I don't want to say excited, but I'm anxious to get it done because it's going to be a proactive thing that I'm doing.
Get rid of the pain.
It's not like someone is saying, Mark, you got something wrong with your kidneys or this or that or your heart. We got to do the surgery. And that's not being proactive. This is being proactive. It's just, you're born with stuff. You had foot surgery, whatever. I'm going to recover. I'm going to work my ass off and get back at it. But I think a lot of it is, so I'll continue to, I don't have a game plan as far as saying, as long as they want me to do the pregame show, I'll probably do it. As long as they want me to work at KFAN 3 days a week, it's just enough. I get to go home and do my grocery shopping and get ready to make some dinner or help Karen make dinner. And we want to travel. I mean, I have found the second chapter, and we have talked about it a lot, saying we want to take advantage. It's not like every day you're going to do something glamorous. Listen, like we're like everybody else. We're taking the garbage out.
But the simple stuff is sometimes the best.
It's the best. And I think we're blessed to live in this wonderful community, a wonderful state, and we've got so many options of doing things. We got family around us, but we want to travel. We want to do things together, and that's my goal. Is to
it's your forecast.
My forecast to spend as much time not just with Karin, but with our friends. I mean, we have this new, I mean, it's, I'm not saying it's sad, but it happens. You know, I had some wonderful friends with Denise, that couples and everything, and it's just part of the transition. You don't necessarily keep up with them anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's not like somebody's fault. It's just the way life works. And you just end up getting, I mean, most of us, you always say as an adult, and I'm 74, and you go, well, how many close friends do you have? And especially guys. And you go, I don't know, I got a good handful of good friends.
That's all you need.
And then you meet people through work, and then like through this place. And I've opened up a whole different chapter, and the people I get to talk to, like you guys are doing. I mean, it's a blessing. I don't just interview sports people, but to be able to talk to people. Mitch Albom, who was a friend of mine, who wrote, you know, Tuesdays with Maury, and he was one of my podcast guests, and getting a hold of people and going, God, would you like to go on my show with me? And then you find out, you know, I've had Frank and Amelia on. I've had, you know, just finding out things that I never even asked them about.
She didn't know
before.
we ran for governor and lieutenant governor.
Well, I know.
learned something
Well,
today.
how would you know
Come
that?
on.
I mean, yeah.
I was graduating high school.
That was
year, anyway.
yeah. Thanks a lot. That was a
I
while
would
ago.
never guess you're 74.
Well, you know, honestly, and I know it's a running joke on KFAN with Dan Cole that I say, well, I feel better at 74 than I did at 44 or 45. But I swear, you know, we all have pictures. I go back and look at. I was not healthy when I was going through the things with
You look
Denise.
great. Yeah.
I mean, I was worn down mentally and physically. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't taking care of myself. I mean, I'd still work out, but it wasn't like the same. And so I made a conscious decision. You know, your health is everything.
I saw you in those sweatpant moments at KFAN
100%.
back in the day, and you
No.
look fantastic.
Well, I mean, I'm working at it, and I try to. I'm just trying to inspire myself, because I can't, like all of us, you get a little older. I can't do the things I used to do, but you don't have to. You do other things.
Yeah.
So, I'm
good for you.
inspired by that, and I do
Don't
want to
let
be
the
my
old
best
man
version
in.
of myself. Don't let the old man. I just love that line.
I love it too.
It's so good, and it appeals to. Doesn't mean it could be. You could say that about the women. I mean, it doesn't
Yep.
matter. Don't let the old person in.
I like that forecast.
And that's my philosophy every morning I get up.
That's the name of the podcast, by the way. Don't let the old person in.
And of course, tune
Hey,
into
Alex,
Mark
you got
Rosen's
that?
podcast too. And of course, you on all the things you do. Thank you for coming on our show.
Oh my God, you gave me goosebumps. You guys, this means a lot to me.
Oh,
I love you guys.
appreciate
No,
it.
we love you.
We
You
love
know
you.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
We
Well,
go way back.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I
We
miss
might
seeing
need you. We
over
might
there.
need you to run for governor again. I'm just going to tell you right
I'm just
now.
saying.
We need help. We need
I'm
some
not
help,
too
so.
old. I think I can still do it, but I think
I'm
we're
going to
running-
pass on lieutenant
I think
governor.
hard pass.
Let's go golfing and have dinner
Exactly.
instead, right? All right. Well, thanks for tuning into Weathering Life with Belle and Lee and Mark Rosen.
And Continental Diamond.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Oh, you're
thanks.
a Continental Diamond
Yeah,
guy.
Jimmy Helene, they're the best.
Right?
Yep,
Ah, wonderful.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
my pleasure.
The most effective people at work aren't working harder than everyone else. They're working smarter inside better systems. Superhuman Go, from the makers of Grammarly, is the AI chat that works inside every tool you already use. Always ready and already aware of what you're working on. It's a teammate whose only job is to help you be better at yours. With Go working with you, you can show off what you do best. See what Superhuman Go can do at superhuman.com. That's superhuman.com.